Racers! Hey guys, welcome back again to Randall's Island. If you guys remember, this is where we started the season back in March. Feels like a lifetime now. But this is July 4th weekend actually. That's from 2 days ago, July 4th. The park is green and beautiful. We hardly had any wind that race, and we are now going to start our 2 neutral laps. I'm going to commentate on the highlights of the race, and later on, as usual, I'm going to upload the entire race all by itself. So enjoy, guys. Alright, so 2 laps in. We're still quote-unquote on the neutral lap, and as you can see, guys are going really fast. We're single file, and right on the right turn here, I'm letting a gap open for... I have no idea why. That's a mistake I should have learned from my first time around racing here. Guys are attacking in the front, a little gap opening, and I have to burn a match right at the beginning of the race. In a way, that's what I like about Randall's Island. You can get a breakaway going almost any time, and you as a racer also have to be always aware of what's going on, and don't let a gap open, because as you can see here, I'm still pushing 500-600 watts just to close the gap. So beautiful race, tactical, very aggressive, but just the way I like it. So just to remind you, at that section you're going downhill and you're picking up speed real quick. You're getting into 55 kilometers an hour, and you are basically running into a right turn here. You don't want to use your brakes here unless you really have to, because if you're letting a little gap open, as you can see here, you have to sprint 700-800 watts just to close the gap. Again, that's what I love about this race. It's technical. You need to know how to control your bike correctly, to corner correctly, and to position yourself, because it forces you to work that race, and you can't just hide in the peloton here. It's not like the park races. As you can see, we are single file. There's 2 guys in the front here that are trying to get in a breakaway going. Alright, 11 minutes into the race, and this is where the fun begins. We have a little breakaway going in the front. I'm sprinting here from the left to get on the roughest guy's wheel, because as you can see, there are 2 guys that are trying to bridge into the front group, and I'm just trying to use his wheel, although I'm not doing a great job in here. But as you can see, you just can pick up a momentum here when you're going downhill. And I'm on the roughest guy's wheel. Okay, so as you can see, there's like about 4 guys in the front here with a little gap going. I'm sprinting on the from the little corner here, and I'm already thinking to myself, at that point, once we're going to catch the 4 guys in the front, the guys behind work just as hard. There's a little gap behind me right now, and the guys in the front right now also work to get the breakaway going, but you know what, we just caught them. I'm going faster than them at that point. Let me just put a little surge here and see what happens. I'm not even sprinting. Look, I'm just maintaining 500 watts. I'm just going faster than them, running into that little technical section here before the sharp turn. And guess what? Again, I didn't have my rear camera, unfortunately, but at 400 or 500 watts, I'm having a gap here, and this is a time trial mode right now. And I'm telling myself, don't burn yourself. It's still a long race. Get into a good rhythm, but you know, just hold threshold or just above threshold for a little bit, just so you can create a gap. And it actually worked. So I'm in a time trial mode from that point on. So that's the benefits of getting into that corner all by yourself, or in the front if you want to. You don't have to push 800 watts. If you're taking that corner correctly, you can just keep up your momentum here. As you can see, I didn't even push more than 500 watts on the corner here, and probably the guys behind me that have to slow down because they're in the pack had to push around 700-800 watts just to keep the same speed as I do. So again, I still have a big gap here. They're not on my wheel, and I'm maintaining about threshold power on an aero position, as you guys can see. Alright, so even though that was the most exciting time for me in the race, I'm all by myself in the front for 2 laps. I don't want to bore you. I moved it forward a little bit. I'm 2 laps at that point, all by myself in the front, with a big gap, and there's a guy that just managing to get across at that point, from a team that called, if I'm not mistaken, the Good Guys. He's on my wheel here, and as soon as I saw him on my wheel, I pushed just a little to give him a little break and asked him to start working. And from that point on, we actually became a duel here, working really hard, and the guy was very strong. So after me working for about 10 minutes all by myself, I had to push almost 400 watts to get on his wheel. So again, a very big effort here. Alright, so we're in the front here. I'm working as well, as much as I can really. And I think that was a mistake, and I need to learn from that. I was pushing way above my threshold for about 10 minutes here right now, and I'm spiking it into like 350, as you can see. It's not something I can maintain for a long time. I know myself already, but you know, in the race, you are very motivated and you want to help and contribute to the breakaway. At that point, I should have just rested on his wheel and asked him for a little lap, at least 1 lap of recovery, so I can maybe help down the line. Because this breakaway, which I helped creating, will succeed, but eventually, unfortunately, I dropped myself from it. Again, note to self, next time around, when you're in the front for 10 minutes and someone is catching you, don't overwork yourself. Or another thing that I need to remember, I need to get stronger. Just don't have the time to train as much. But again, as you can see, coming to the front, pushing more than 300 watts, 350 watts, trying to maintain the breakaway. Oh yeah, almost hit the ditch here. But again, trying to maintain the breakaway and help it succeed. That's my goal at that point. Alright, so I'm done with my pull here, and the guy behind me is getting into his pull, but the thing is, you see, he's putting a surge, and I had to do almost 500 watts in order to try to get on his wheel, and I'm not even managing to do it because, again, I'm after like more than 10 minutes effort here at that point. And with sections way above my threshold, and I can't just close the gap. And that's the thing, if the guy you're with is really, really strong, let's say stronger than you, and he's surging from your wheel, it's basically killing you. That's what it is, and I am dying at that point here. We're almost going at the same speed, it's just that I'm not on his wheel and I can't close the gap. That's really, really frustrating in the race. Easier said than done. I'm looking at it and I'm telling myself, you should have just closed the gap and sit on his wheel, but you just can't do it. As you can see, I'm coasting here because I'm done. At that point, I'm almost like 3 or 4 laps in the front here, working really hard. There are 2 guys behind the bridge, and this Rafa guy that was basically also caught me and just sprinted. I couldn't catch his wheel. Sprinted on my left here. Bridge to the good guy's rider in the front. And unfortunately, again, this is really bummer. This is a move I helped to create, a successful move. This was the winning break, and I'm not in there. Anyway, I'm looking back and I know we have a very big gap. It's me now and another guy from the Verrazano racing team that bridged to me. So there's now 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, and the rest of the group behind us. And we still have a gap, so I'm not giving up still. As you can see, still pushing 300 watts. Again, looking at it in hindsight, I should have just stayed on the guy's wheel in the front and recover for just a little bit, for just a lap or 2. And then contribute and still working. I need to learn. Yep. So, okay, so the Verrazano guy is coming to the front, and I'm sitting on his wheel, hardly doing 120 watts, and I'm dying here. A lot of fun. So as you can see, I'm not really helping a lot. I'm trying to recover at that point, at the wrong place of the breakaway. I'm trying to recover. I should have recovered maybe in the front. But that made another guy from the group behind us catch us. And we became 3. Dysfunctional 3 really. Chase group that didn't really work well together. Especially with me dying here, trying to get on the new guy's wheel here in the front. And as you can see now, he's attacking. I really didn't have a lot in me, but I tried to get back on his wheel here. So his plan was just to leapfrog, I guess, from our wheel to the front and create a little break going. I didn't want to let this happen, so as you can see, I'm still on my limit here, pushing close to 500 watts in order to close the gap to this guy. But that's bike racing. Alright, so we made it to his wheel, but just like a good racer, you see I'm trying to recover here. 0 watts, coasting, the guy attacks again. That's a smart play. He don't want us on his wheel. He was trying to bridge all by himself, which I think it was the wrong thing to do. Attack after attack, you're not really accomplishing anything. Let the guys with you, save some energy, work together just to make sure you're making it to the front group in order to close that gap to the 2 guys in front right now. You need to be so strong. You probably have to push around 400 watts for the next like 5-10 minutes. Which none of us can probably do, so you want to work together, but these attacks just disrupting the race, and I'm still trying to recover from the hard effort I did just earlier. So as you can see, we are dysfunctional chase group of 3 with 1 guy, which is me, that is dying here and I was trying to get everybody to work together, but as you can see, look at the wattage that I'm pushing. I am dying here. I'm asking for help, and this little chase group didn't work eventually. So 1 more attack, and this time I'm letting him go. Not because I can't follow. Well, I probably couldn't follow, but we just got caught by the group behind, and I decided it will be smarter just to sit and save energy as much as I can. So for my next attack, my next move. So that's what I did. I'm just sitting in the pack from that point on, which by the way became a very small pack. A lot of people got either dropped or quit, I don't know, or maybe I'm imagining things, but the group looked much smaller than we initially started. Alright, so we are now 34 minutes into the race. Up until that point, I am just sitting in the pack, recovering, trying to conserve energy. There were more attacks, obviously, but at that point we have two guys in the front, the same two guys that were basically on my wheel. And I am just, as you can see, just trying to follow the right wheels. I'm telling myself once it slows down a little bit, that will be a good time to attack, because they're all working in the front. We have, as you can see, another good guy rider, second in wheel here, that's blocking, which is really frustrating. And I was trying to get a little gap going, and knowing that he's still blocking in the front, maybe if they'll let me go, it could actually work. And as you can see, I'm coming from the right here, giving a little attack, trying to get a solo. I'm not trying actually to bridge to the guys in the front, because that, I know that's impossible. I'm trying to basically break away from the field in order to hold third place. And I'm putting a big effort here, 400 or 500 watts, but unfortunately it didn't work. There was still on my wheel here at that point, so I shut it down right away. So just a few seconds later, again on the right turn here, I'm just carrying my momentum and I'm telling myself, okay, everybody else are tired. I know you're tired. You just attacked, but that will be a good time to attack yet again. So I'm giving another surge here. But unfortunately it didn't work. They set on my wheel right away, so I'm shutting it down yet again. So we are 2 laps to go here, the end of the race, and this is my last beat for third place. I'm telling myself, let me attack. I'm putting everything I have, even if they're on my wheel. I'm just going as hard as I can. Almost hit the 1000 watts there, sprinting off the left. The wind it was a very slight wind from right to left here. They managed to get back on my wheel, unfortunately, but I kept on going as hard as I can. As you can see, I'm pushing here really as hard as I can, getting into that technical section, hitting 46 kilometers an hour. I didn't even look back at that point. I was just pushing as hard as I possibly can. I didn't know if they're on my wheel or not. Taking the apex, and still I'm pushing and pushing. I figured if I'm not gonna make that move stick, at least I'm getting a good workout out of it. So I'm dying at that point. If I had a little gap, I would have continued. But I think right about here, I saw they're on my wheel, strong, long line, and I just shut it down. That was my last bit. I didn't have anything in me after that move. And as you can see, everybody else are tired, slowing down right away. Nobody else can just go fast, I guess, or they're just playing it smart and waiting for the sprint. Again, just to remind you, 2 guys in front, we are sprinting here for third place. But I just recovered, and I knew I had nothing in me. I'm not gonna have anything for the sprint, and I didn't want to risk anything, so I just let the gap open, and that was basically the end of my race. We are now less than 1 lap to go, so I'm just recovering here, realizing my race is over. I'm still pushing 400 watts just to try to get back to their wheels, but when they started to pick up, which was just around here, I knew I'm not gonna make it even if I want to, and I shut it down. Yep, so they're picking up speed in here, and I'm just coasting already. that was the end of my race. That's me telling you guys I'm done. So if you guys around the tri-state area, please come check it out. Randall's Island, a very cool race, a lot of fun. You can get into breakaways, chase moves. It's very safe, by the way. The roads, basically the way the course laid, forcing you to get into a single file at most times, maybe, you know, 2 riders across the road, not more than that. It's fast, it's fun, aggressive. I love that race. Come check it out. And until next time, guys, I'll see you around. I hope you enjoyed. Well, at least I tried. Where were you?